So today we are heading to the Case IH dealership to go pick up a demo sprayer.
We got about 610 acres of soybeans we need to spray. This is going to be one of the last sprayings we're going to do until cotton is ready to defoliate, and our sprayer is getting old and tired, and here in the next year or two we're going to look at upgrading sprayers, and H&R Acre Power has been nice enough to give us a demo for a day or two to test out one of their Patriot sprayers. So we're going to go pick it up and run it over several hundred acres of soybeans and see what we think about it. I think all of us are going to get a chance. All of us are going to get a chance to run it and find out if this is potentially a machine that we might consider buying in the future.
Because we need a new one. Old Bessie needs to go.
All right, here's a machine that we're going to be running all day. They gave us a quick rundown on how to get it down to the road, so we're going to get back to shop, run some water through it, make sure the sprayer's cleaned out, and wait on the salesman to get out there to show us how to run it. Definitely going to be a different type of machine than what we're used to running. Nice leather seats. Alright, so get this camera turned around and adjusted here. Alright, we're in here, getting my seats set. Figure out a few controls here. We'll be on the road. There goes this thing come out. Alright, parking brake off. Turn our flashers on. We are ready to roll. Oh, shoot. What's like 6 minutes? Definitely a different piece than what we're used to running, where cab is actually sitting forward of the front wheel, so this is going to kind of be like driving a flat nose school bus. Moons are blocking some of my side view when they're fogged up, that's for sure. Hey, wait for some traffic to clear out. Rear view mirrors are a heck of a lot better than what we got over there. Alright, last car, take her for a spin. Well, hydrostat is strong. Got her topped out. It's 34 miles an hour. Should definitely scoot down the road. Steering's very stable. I don't know if it's got a rear view camera on there or not. It would be nice. The rear view mirrors are pretty good to see behind you going down the road. It'd be even nicer to have a camera. AC's about to get some icicles hanging off my nose. We won't really know until we get to the field, but this thing sure does seem to ride pretty good. Feels a little nose heavy because the cab is sitting in front of the wheel, so that's a little weird. Alright. definitely gonna take some getting used to. Alright, we're on the 4 lane. Let her walk. But as you can see, any kind of view out the side is blocked with the way these booms folded up. Something we're not used to. The deers kind of fold up more compact. But you can see the view out the rear view mirrors is very good. There's something else I like. On the John Deere, we've got gears that we have to select for the different hydrostatic ranges. We got 4 gears on that, so you know you have to shift gears to determine whatever speed you want to go within that hydrostatic range. So this one's got a knob. You don't have any gears. You basically select that knob, whatever you want your maximum speed to be, and then you push the hydrostat forward. So I really like that part of it. We're going down the road right now, so we've got it set on maximum, but if I were to slow it down to halfway, it would probably set my maximum speed somewhere around 15 to 16 miles an hour. So I do like that feature. All right, we got everything loaded up. The chemical, I think we got our monitor set, and we're going to head to the field. Got a couple of quick first impressions. One thing, these booms are not meant to be folded out in tight quarters, which we have here around our gym lots. Power lines, buildings, and the 100-foot booms makes up a lot of room. The way that these things fold out is, I like the way they fold out. They'd be great in the field, but in close conditions, it's not ideal. You got to be real careful. Another thing that I don't like so far is this monitor. It's got the Raven Viper Pro monitor in it, and it's about the most difficult and complicated monitor I've ever seen. Nothing is intuitive on it. Just entering in your fields and your products can be pretty difficult. I'm sure that's something that will get better as you get more use on it and get used to it. The tank design on it just makes it hard to see when you got a full tank. Okay, it's got a 1,000-gallon tank on it, so we're mixing up a 1,000-gallon load, and it's just the way the sight glasses are situated. It's difficult to see how full the tank is. Going on to things I do like. I do like the way the booms are folded. They're quicker, a lot quicker than John Deere. You know, once you uncradle them, it's a one-step process, and it folds the intersections and the outer sections out at the same time, which is a lot better design than what John Deere's got on the one we're running. I know the newer John Deere's are a little different. I do like the fact that this one's got a front fill on it. Makes it easier to get up there to your water truck and fill up with your boom still folded out. And probably my biggest gripe, and I found this out just as soon as we pulled out of the dealership this morning, went to stop at a stoplight on the 4 lane. I did not realize that if you just touch the brakes, the whole machine comes to a stop, and it can't get started back again until you bring the hydrostat back to neutral and take off. So obviously the brakes are not meant for slowing down, which I don't like. We're used to on our sprayer, you know, in addition to the hydrostat slowing the machine down, if you're going 30 plus miles an hour, it's nice to have the brakes there, and also just to ease the strain on the hydrostat. But you cannot do it on this machine, and that's a feature I'm not too fond of. Anyway, we're about to pull into the field here, and then We'll find out what it's like to run. We're gonna get the salesman up here in the cab with me to show me how to work the controls and everything, and how to make this monitor work.
Let's go back up.
You need to run them wide open? Yes. Run them back wide open. Alright. Go ahead and gauge. Alright. Wait, I need to purge the booms first, get the people in there. How do you go about doing that? We ready to go?
I believe so.
Alright. Don't be mad if I rip the booms off on the first pass.
I'm not.
Alright, what's the big thing? Am I recording? Another thing I'm not crazy about is the hydro handle. I mean, seriously, Case, you're still putting the same hydro handle in there that you did back in 1995 on your combines. Can we get an updated one with a little bit more functionality in it? You know, maybe add a button for your automatic boom height control that we have to go up here to the screen to activate it. It'd be a lot simpler to have it on the handle, plus maybe a button for your main boom up and down would really help. Alright, this is what I'm talking about on this screen. I just don't, it's just completely different than anything we're used to. I mean, you got all these jobs that make no sense. I mean, we're used to the John Deere 2630 monitor and a Case IH Pro 700 or New Holland IntelliView 4. And anyway, I mean, this isn't set up maybe the way that I want it to be. I understand there's a lot of different ways you can set these monitors up, but you know, none of this makes any sense. You know, to get you to enter in your farm and fields. Here, these are ones I already typed in, and it took me like 30 minutes to figure this out. And then go to here, or say we haven't done that one yet. And then, but I can't just type in a field here, you know, because it doesn't enter it in. So I've got to go like type my farm number. I think go up here, and we got to go down here. And then we gotta do that, I think. Yeah, and then we do this. And that's what it takes to get a farm and field, and it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Alright, but we're not on that, we're not on this field, we're still on the one that we're on. And then to get back, I think it's, well, if we gotta stop it. You know, we're just used to entering in a farm field, you know, entering in our products, rate per acre and all that. And all it's just confusing. Say, I think this is maybe the one that we were on, so we'll continue that. No, that's the wrong one. Let's go to this one. Yes, 4374. Okay, yes. Got our fungicide and stuff right. Alright, so. Alright, this is what we've already sprayed. And you got this little widget over here that's always popping up with errors. You got to click on it while you're spraying. Alright, this is a screen that shows all of our spray pressure stuff, rate, all that kind of stuff. This right here is our automatic boom height control. Alright, we're going to activate it. I think all that sets right, so we don't want that on our screen though, so we got to go back here. Alright, then we got this box showing our pressure and all this stuff, and then we got our coverage box here. I'm going to zoom out a little. Oh, wrong way. Wait. See, I don't, like, I want that view, but I want to zoom out. And it's not going to let me zoom out. It lets me zoom in, but that's as far as it's going to zoom. I don't like that. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So this is just, I'm sure the monitor will get better as you get more used to it and learn how to navigate it, but you know, none of the icons make any sense whatsoever. I mean, this button right here engages your pump. That doesn't hardly look like a pump to me. I think this button right here, this is your nudge. This button right here determines what type of, this button right here determines what type of guidance pattern you want, and the icons just really don't make a whole heck of a lot of sense. So, like I said, you know, it's not that bad once you get on the run screen, but getting it set up is a real pain in the butt. Alright, well, we got our first field sprayed, and we're on the second one. Got the salesman out of the cab. We got Zach in here to show him how to run it. It will be the next one running the rest of the section there. So, got a few things figured out on it. Overall, I'd say it's nicer to run than the 4830 deer that we're running now. There still are some quirks about this one that I don't like, namely the monitor. Running it is okay, and I like to set up on running it, but actually getting it set up it can be pretty difficult. I do believe this, I do think the sprayer rides better than the John Deere. The boom height control, it definitely works better. I like the folding system better on the boom because it can be a little tricky. Thing I don't understand though, they still got the same hydrostat handle that they were running back in the mid-90s on their combines out here. 25 years later, they had something a little bit more updated than that. Would like to see more functions available on the handle itself. One thing I really do love is this modulation control. It's got a turn compensation in it to keep when you turn it around to keep your spray even across the boom. It also has individual nozzle shut off and section control is all built into that modulation system. So as long as it's working, I really love the way it works. All right, after 3 days and 600 acres and getting rained out twice, we gotten done with this Patriot sprayer, and you know, I think I've gone over my likes and dislikes about it. You know, overall, I think it's a good sprayer. It's definitely different than what we're used to running. Y'all gotten to run it too. What do y'all think about it?
In what I'm used to running, the functionality on the hydro handle is leaps and bounds behind on what I'm used to running on the deer. I didn't realize exactly how many tools and functions we had built into the hydro handle on that deer that's missing on this case, dealing with auto boom leveling and section control. But
it's the same hydro handle that's been on combines ever since 1995. So.
Yeah. But other than that, the one thing I do like on the handle, the actual cutoff and on switch for the booms. You know that if you're flipping that handle on or off, that boom is either going to be running or not running.
Yeah, I like the toggle switch a lot better than the push button.
Yeah.
I do like that part.
What do you think about the booms?
I mean, I didn't get to drive it, so the only thing I don't like is you can't see the tires and where you're going, and the booms are too complicated to get in and out of the cradle.
It's definitely going to be harder to follow roads because you can't see the tires. It was kind of neat sitting out in front of the front axle, though. I thought it was kind of neat.
I don't like it.
That first hill we went over, it was a different experience being out in front of the weight. But
I think the ride is better in some aspects than the airbags on the deer, but then there's other terrain that the airbags on the deer, I believe it takes it better than the spring coils on the sprayer. So you know, definitely the one thing that I think we all hated was the brake pedal. I mean, what's the point of having a brake pedal if it's not going to be used to slow the sprayer down? I mean,
It's just going to throw you through the windshield.
I mean, bringing it out of the dealership, you know, I brought all traffic to a halt on 45 when I tried to use the brake to slow down at the stop sign, and about threw me through the windshield.
The other thing is you have to use a dial to go in your speeds. There's no 1, 2, and 3, and that's not safe in my opinion, and I don't like that. I mean, because in the deer you can downshift. You know, you're in road gear and then you can downshift, and it's only goes so much. This one, it's like there's nothing to tell you if you can downshift or not.
Actually,
and then you're like literally taking off on 2 wheels.
Actually, I kind of liked it. I'd rather have it over the gears. It was just my preference, but you know.
I'm sorry, but we live in an area where there's so much traffic that I would rather be able to downshift and go slow than have to guess.
I like how reactive the transmission is, especially when we're going through blind curves, which is a lot around here. When you're coming up on one of these road construction trucks and you come around the corner and you have to
You like that one right
you
there?
have to give on the hydro handle.
See how busy it is?
When you take when you go to full speed off the hydro handle, it's like on the deer when we're pulling back, you pull back and you're laying your foot into the brake to get it to whoa up. This one, it's automatically got the brake built into it, and it'll whoa up on its own.
Yeah, actually, the hydro does feel a lot stronger than on the deer. Although, I mean, we are comparing a 3,000 hour machine versus a 200 hour machine. So I don't know how much of that's wear. And again, we're not really comparing apples to apples because we're not comparing this sprayer to the new R series deer. You know, we're comparing it to the 4830. So obviously, we would expect a lot of these features on the case to be better. I'd say hands down the aim system is fantastic. Yeah. It's absolutely fantastic. It's all I can say. Drift is less on it. I mean, your rate is dialed in. You got nozzle by nozzle shutoffs, and plus it's neat just to watch going through the field. I'll tell you.
But everything you have to write down pros and cons, and then this one's got pros and cons. The deer has pros and cons. The Haggy has pros and cons. And then you have to figure out what's the best bang for your buck.
And that's kind of what we're trying to decide to do. You know, the one thing that we were really not going to consider a case at all just because it doesn't have the ground clearance we need to spray fungicide on corn. But we found out that there is a company that makes an aftermarket 13-inch lift, which I have to get the tape measure out, but it might be enough lift to get us the clearance that we need.
Yeah, and that was the other thing you were saying. The air filter's exposed.
Yeah, that's the only downside. And they said that there are skid plates underneath, but the essential equipment that's exposed on the belly of the equipment and going through fungicide would be a downside of you're running the risk of tearing up something that's vitally important and possibly super expensive to replace.
Yeah, I mean, if we do get one of these, we're definitely going to need wheels. We're going to need wheel fenders. We're going to need shields for the wheel motors. We're going to need skid plates, all that type of stuff. But you know, I really enjoyed how quiet the cab was on the deer with an engine in the front. I mean, it's screaming at you all day long. Whereas this one, it's not nice and quiet. But on the flip side, with the motor being in the back, you know, working on it and servicing it, looks like it might be a little bit more of a chore. But another good thing, like on the deer, the hydraulics and everything is right up under the center. So if you got to work on it, I mean, you're crouched up under the center. Where on this one, all the hydraulic pumps and everything is all the way on the back. The solution pump is easy to get to. So in general, it looks like maintenance on this sprayer will probably be a little bit easier than what we're used to on the deer.
I'm tickled with the boom, the boom design, which we're not comparing apples to apples.
The booms were definitely a lot more stable going through the field. It doesn't ride on that one big pivot bearing like what our deer does. So the booms were definitely a lot more stable. The automatic boom height control seemed like it worked better. Again, this machine's probably 11 years newer and better technology than what we're used to.
11 years newer. I just don't like the way you have to fold it in. That's kind of a pain. I want a 1, 2, 3, go.
But yeah, I do. The one time we have drove an R series deer, the boom folding and unfolding was definitely better. I mean, these you got to play with the tilt and everything, and slowly folding it in and maneuvering it to get it to fold into the cradle. The visibility side to side going down the road is not as good as what it is on a deer. But it looks like the booms are solidly made. You know, I don't know how good the longevity of them is before you start having cracking, but overall, I mean, you know, the unfolding part, it's not quite as good as what I hoped it would, but it's easier to get in the cradle than what our 4830 is. There's no doubt about that.
Well, it's 11 years old.
Well, the cradle itself is 10 times sturdier than the cradle on the. And the R series cradle is a whole lot more sturdy than what we've got now. So
I mean, we're talking 11 years compared to a year old.
And even though the cab is situated so much farther forward than what we're used to in the deer, I still feel like the visibility of the booms is actually a little bit better, even though you're sitting that much farther forward. I feel like I can see the booms easier.
Yeah, it's with the tank not being slapped right up against the cab like on what's on our 4830. You can see the boom. I can see further down the booms more toward the center than what we can see on our 4830.
Yeah, now filling up the tank, I don't like it as much as I do our John Deere with the way the sight glasses are situated.
Side glasses are that's a -0.
Well, I mean, those sight glasses need to be replaced. They're clouded up, but where they're actually where they're actually placed is not in the best position, I don't think.
The dog don't like it
And
either.
my other biggest gripe was the monitor. This one's outfitted with a Raven Viper Pro, and running in the field, I think once you get to the running part, it's actually pretty decent. You got about all the information you need at your fingertips, but getting the thing set up is a nightmare, and dang near requires a doctorate degree.
The steps you have to go through just to be able to upload a field, and then not having the same kind of functions you're used to coming from that 4830 field view and things like that. It's just totally different from seeing.
I tried writing a setup card off our software, like we do on our Deers and the CNH monitors, but for some reason it wouldn't take it or whatever, so we had to input it all by hand.
I don't like that.
But anyway, we got. I think overall we enjoyed running it. Big thanks to H&R AgriPower for letting us run it for a few days.
It only took 3 years.
And we got we got 600 acres done in 3 days. We had 2 rainouts, and we got done just in time before the outer bands of Hurricane Laura arrive up here. So all our soybeans are protected, and we're ready to carry this machine back to the dealership.
I figured it at 9 hours and 42 minutes total run time for 600 acres. That's leaps and bounds over
Yeah, we usually do
what
it
we're
2
used
days.
to.
Well, I did feel like in the field you could spray faster ground speed with this one than you could ours.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I don't know why that is. I just felt like we could cover ground without beating the sprayer up quicker.
Well, like I said, 11 years old, a year old. Big difference.
Yeah.
And we just have to figure out what works.
Technology has come a long way, and I'm excited to see
Now
what we wind up with.
Let's go see a Haggy, and let's go somebody. Hey, so
All right, Tennessee Tractor, we're ready for that R Series demo. And if there's any Haggy or Miller dealers out there,
I already got one set up coming.
We're open to that too.
I got one set up coming. So
we will definitely be in the market in the next year or so.
Definitely the next year. She can hear you, by the way. Be quiet. All right, and